Okay, now you have installed the authentication services on a Unix server and on the Active Directory. So what to do with it? Not on the Active Directory, to be more precise. You have it installed on the management system, and this reaches out for the Active Directory to manage the information that was stored in Active Directory. So what you're going to get from it? One of the things that authentication services is enabling you is to consolidate users. So one of the things you want to achieve is you have Unix users, you have Windows users, you want to bring it all together in one place. In this case, it is Active Directory. And you want to do all your management in Active Directory with all your Active Directory tools. And that this is the case what this product is intended for. So in this case, we just go and now create a user. We can use both on Windows and of course in the Unix environment. So just let's look for our Active Directory system. We just go for the Active Directory users and computers console. That's the standard tool. And we just want to maybe go for the standard user container, whatever you want to place these users, and do some kind of user creation. In this case, we're just going to create a user. Here we go. So we're going to select new and user. In this case, we want to make it off demo, whatever, and give it a password and click on next to create the user. That's a standard task. What we now need to do is we need to Unix enable the user. That's the phrase that is used inside the product. So that means you have to specify a couple of more information in a way that the authentication services feels responsible for this user and is identifying this user being managed by authentication services. I can just double click on it. And now you're going to see something like this one, Unix account. Unix account is an extension or plugin that it was installed during the installation of the authentication services product on this management workstation. And this plugin enables you to set the proper attributes to that user using that graphical plugin in the normal Active Directory user and computers console plugin. And you see this little checkbox here that's called Unix enabled, and just click on Unix enabled, and then it's going to come back with a couple of values predefined for you. And the most important thing is UID number. The UID number is the unique ID that is now generated for this user, and it just looks in your whole Active Directory environment to make this number unique. And that is pretty important because this is the number you're being identified with in all these various systems connected together via authentication services. And if that's not unique, you're going to be in the same trouble you want to get rid of because you have selected authentication service to help you with. Okay, so now this is the Unix ID number, and you simply can click on OK, and now authentication services will recognize that user. Just to verify, just go to the Unix server we have just created and log in with that user. So in this case, we have now here our command line. Let's log in with auth demo. Give it the password we have used. And here we go. Now it logs us in. It just complains a group ID 1000. This is not present on that system, but that we're going to fix that later. But as far as now, you just simply can log in with that user. And if you say ID, it just gives you this nice little long numerical ID we have just created doing this little click on the Unix enabled button. And of course, you can just use it as a standard user, but this user is not configured on the local system. So if you just grab of demo in the etc password file, where all the users are listed usually, it does not come back with a find. So in this case, it is just coming from authentication services via the link to Active Directory. So you're logging in with an Active Directory based user to the Unix service, and now you don't need any local users anymore if you don't require special ones. And as I have said, you have a group ID of 1000 that does not exist on this box, but nothing more easier to do. So just go back to exit, go back to the management console, go back to that user, and you if you go to the Unix account, you're going to see that the primary group is 1000, and maybe you want to use it, give it a different group. And in this case, I have a couple of groups created, but why not create a new one? So let's go and create a group. So in this case, we just want to make a new group. Here's a new group. Let it called Auth Services. Now we have a new group. Here's the Auth Services group. And of course we have a plugin for the group management as well. So if you go to the Unix account, make Unix enable the group. Now it gets a unique group ID number, pretty much the same. Click on apply, click to OK. And if we now go to our auth demo user, we can just make the primary group number here, now the new one we have just created. Here's this auth services. Just assign the group to that user. Click on apply, click on OK. And now the auth demo user has the primary group ID of our newly created Unix enabled group. And if we log back to the Linux system as the auth demo user, you don't going to see that complaint about the non-existing local group anymore, because now if you just click on ID, you see that you have the Unix ID coming from the Active Directory and the group ID coming from the Active Directory as well. So everything's fine. Straightforward, very easy.